This is the weekly sales meeting for February 8th, 2026. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, don't compete on price. If you lived in the Northeast in the 70s or 80s, you probably remember Crazy Eddie. You could not escape that voice screaming from the radio or TV. His prices are insane. It was catchy. It made people laugh. It made people curious. It made people buy. Eddie Antar was a kid from Brooklyn. He had a silver tongue and a taste for shortcuts. He figured out how to turn cheap stereos and flashy deals into a retail phenomenon. He bought electronics in bulk. He priced them lower than anyone dared, and drowned the airwaves with wild ads starring a DJ who acted as nuts as Eddie's promises. Crowds swarmed the stores. Revenues soared. Competitors were forced to either match the madness or close their doors. On the surface, it looked brilliant, but the truth hiding under all those receipts and bargain bins was ugly. Eddie and his cousin Sam were cooking the books. They skimmed cash, lied to the IRS, and shuffled dirty money through foreign banks. Later, they propped up stock prices with fake profits. The empire that looked unstoppable was in reality a house of cards held together with fraud, and the reckless hope that no one would look too closely. They did look. It all came crashing down. The stores closed. Investors got wiped out. Eddie fled the country and got dragged back in handcuffs to stand trial. He spent almost 7 years in prison. The punchline of his ads turned into the punchline of his life. Crazy Eddie began in 1971. That's when Eddie Antar teamed up with his father, Sam M. Antar. They opened a small electronics store in the Sheepshead Bay neighborhood. The store's original name was ERAE, named for Eddie, Ronnie, Alan, and Elaine. It was a name taken from the initials of Eddie and his siblings. However, it was rebranded to Crazy Eddie. This matched Eddie's high-energy, unpredictable, and street-savvy personality. From the start, Crazy Eddie's value proposition was simple. Crazy Eddie had low prices on consumer electronics. The store undercut competitors by buying electronics in bulk and selling them with slim margins. But it wasn't only the low prices that fueled growth. It was Eddie Antar's bold persona. This was amplified by the intense, fast-talking radio and TV ads. These ads declared that his prices were insane. These ads were voiced by radio DJ Jerry Carroll. His wild delivery and frenzied tone matched Eddie's over-the-top brand identity. Many New Yorkers thought Crazy Eddie was a fictional character. They did not realize the real Eddie Antar was orchestrating everything from behind the scenes. Now, behind the crazy marketing and low prices was a darker strategy. Eddie and his cousin Sam E. Antar, who would become the company's CFO, were already skimming cash from the register. They learned to evade taxes, even in the early days. This allowed them to hide profits from the IRS. They would reinvest the ill-gotten funds back into the business. As a result, they could expand while others were standing still. They opened new stores with speed. At its peak, Crazy Eddie had 43 stores across 4 states. Crazy Eddie was becoming a regional powerhouse. He rode the wave of the home electronics boom. He sold VCRs, stereos, and the early personal computers. Eddie was known for his charisma and ability to inspire loyalty, especially among family members who worked with him. But his empire was built on a foundation of fraud from the very beginning. In the end, it all came to a screeching halt. The fraud was uncovered, and the business went under. Crazy Eddie fled the country to avoid government wrath. He was dragged back in handcuffs to face his crimes. You may think this story is about crime, but it's bigger than that. It's about a truth that eats rookies and veterans alike. And that truth is price is the most dangerous tool in your kit. It feels safe because it's easy. Just lower it. Match the next guy. Shave off a little margin to win the deal and quiet the boss. Do it once, then again, then again. Before you know it, you have taught every buyer you meet that your real number is always softer than you pretend. You have trained them to say, "That's too high, give me your best deal." And each time you cave in. You've also trained yourself to drop the price instead of proving the value. This was Crazy Eddie's tactic too. Undercut everyone, make noise, win fast. It worked briefly, then reality hit. Cheap strategies look smart until the hidden costs show up. Sooner or later, every shortcut demands payment. Competing on price alone backfires. Build real worth instead, so your buyers stay long after the discounts fade. Never compete on price alone. Someone can always go lower. If they are foolish enough, they will go lower until they bleed out. If you follow them, you will bleed out too. Competing on price is not selling. It is surrender with a smile. The only thing you win is a customer who will leave you the second someone else whispers a better number. This is not loyalty. This is not partnership. This is a cheap date. So build something stronger. Build value so real and clear that the price tag stops being the conversation. Value is proof that your plan works. It is stories, not slogans. It is showing a client exactly how spending money with you makes them more money, or how it saves them time or protects their reputation. Lazy sellers do not build this proof. They drop the rate. Strong sellers build the proof and stand behind the number. They sleep better at night because they know they are not faking it. They are not living on the edge of an expose or a buyer's next call to the competition. Look at your presentation today. How much of it talks about price? How much of it explains exactly what the buyer gets back? If you struggle to answer, you are doing it the Crazy Eddie way without the illegal skimming, but with the same weakness in your foundation. Fix it now. Tie your price to a result. Tie your spots to a new customer, better calls, fuller tables, booked appointments. Show the math. Keep it simple. Keep it honest. Nobody argues when the numbers make sense. They argue when they see a big number with no path back to their pocket. Next, check on how you talk about cost. Words matter. Crazy Eddie screamed cheap. He trained shoppers to hunt bargains and ignore everything else. Do not do that. Never say cheap about what you sell. Say smart. Say return. Say efficient. Talk like an advisor, not a peddler. The minute you sound desperate to slash your rate, you become background chatter in a discount world full of noise. Service is another shield. Crazy Eddie had no real service culture. If you got a dud TV, good luck. If you needed help, good luck. People stayed because they wanted a deal, not because they loved the experience. When the deals vanished, so did the shoppers. Learn from that. Be the seller who never vanishes when the ink dries. Answer calls. Fix problems fast. Check in before they have to ask. Service that feels human and loyal beats price every time. Buyers stay because you feel like a partner, not a vendor. Now, test yourself. What do you do when a buyer says, I like it, but can you knock off 10%? Do you panic? Do you fumble and slash? Or do you stand calm and say, let's revisit what this plan does? Cutting the price means cutting the reach or the frequency. You told me you wanted 50 more calls each month. If we cut this, we risk that goal. Does that still work for you? This frames the conversation where it belongs. Not about the sticker, but about the result. The next piece is critical. If you ever feel tempted to promise too much to hold your price, stop. Crazy Eddie faked profits and lied to stay ahead. It bought him time, but it stole his soul and his freedom. You do not want to be that seller. Never lie to protect your rate. Tell the truth about what your plan can do. Underpromise and then overdeliver. That is not a cliche. That is a mantra. Buyers respect honesty more than hype. They come back to honesty. Hype always fades. Another trick Eddie used was noise. He drowned the market in ads so people forgot to look at the fine print. Sellers do this too. They bury buyers in slides and stats, hoping the buyer does not notice how thin the actual plan is. Real trust needs clarity, not noise. Trim your presentation. Make your plan so clear that a 12-year-old can explain it. Show the money in, the money out, and the money back. Buyers see you as the grown-up in the room when you keep it simple. So how do you protect your price forever? You do the unglamorous work. You build a track record. You gather stories. You follow up like clockwork. You prove what you promise. Over time, this reputation sticks. When the next competitor whispers a discount, your buyer shrugs and says, no thanks, I trust my guy. That shield is built one call at a time, one honest plan at a time, one fast reply at a time. When you feel tempted to take shortcuts, think about Crazy Eddie. His fame turned into courtrooms and prison bars overnight. Anyone can drop prices and chase quick applause, but that applause fades fast. Real strength is in holding your price, proving your worth, and staying honest when it would be easy to cave. It takes backbone to build value and keep promises while others take the easy way out. Stay steady, deliver results, and outlast the sellers who burn bright then vanish. Before you cut your price to close a deal today, stop and think, am I creating real loyalty or only buying short-term silence? Loyalty is earned through trust, consistent results, and clear value that buyers can see and feel. Silence is cheap and disappears the second someone else offers a lower number. One builds lasting partnerships that survive tough markets. The other fades as soon as the discount does. Choose wisely, stand firm, and earn respect over quick wins. Focus less on pricing and more on what your work actually delivers. When you talk to buyers, connect every dollar they spend to clear, meaningful results. These are the results they care about. Review your success stories. Make sure they are real, relatable, and feel genuine to each client. Drop generic claims and back up your words with solid proof whenever asked. This shift builds trust and shows you are serious about outcomes, not price tags. When a buyer challenges you with, "Can you give me a lower price?" my natural response is, "I can do it for more." But for you, take a pause. Take a breath, stay calm, and stand firm. Focus the conversation back on the real value you deliver. If they decide to leave, let them go. They would have disappeared the moment a cheaper offer came along anyway. Strong buyers recognize quality and stay loyal when they see you believe in your worth. They respect you more when you hold your ground with confidence and prove you are worth every penny. Crazy Eddie's story is not one of success, but a flashing warning for anyone tempted by shortcuts. His quick wins came with a hidden price that ruined everything he built. Chasing easy money, slashing prices, and cutting corners might feel smart in the moment, but it always catches up with you. Real success demands discipline, honesty, and long-term thinking. The easy way often turns out to be the most expensive mistake. Build trust the hard way, and your work will stand strong. Be the seller whose prices are equitable, but whose value is unmatched. Back up every promise with real results. Deliver on what you say you will every time. Stay above the noise and ignore the bargain hunters racing to the bottom. They will never beat you if you build something stronger than cheap deals, and that is trust that lasts. Buyers remember sellers who keep their word and solve real problems. Hold your ground, show your worth, and make sure every client knows you are worth every penny. My new book, Double Your Revenue, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.